Hey, Tom here from Tom's Tumbler and the Pythons. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about autoflowers and light cycles and different ways to stimulate flowers into maturing. But first, let's talk about the autoflower, which is exactly what it sounds like. An autoflower automatically goes into budding and matures within 2 months. And the normal marijuana plant or hemp plant, it takes just like growing tomatoes. There's a season. You plant it in the spring, and then when it comes fall, it matures into a nice full bud. But it takes 4 or 5 months. With an autoflower, it takes 2 months. But let's talk also about where it came from. It's not a chemically induced plant or anything like that. It's a naturally occurring plant called the Cannabis ruderalis from Russia and from Eastern Europe and Asia, where the climate and the light cycles are short and really harsh climates. And gets really cold. So these plants have evolved to produce their flowers and mature and repopulate and produce seeds in 2 months instead of in the more warmer climates and tropical climates and where their seasons are longer. The seasons over there in Russia are very short. So this Cannabis ruderalis, they said, wow, this is a great idea. Let's bring it over and cross it with known strains that produce high THC contents and have other great qualities. And that's what they did. And so all of these autoflowers are which can be for THC or for CBD. But when they're crossed, these normally occurring long-term flowering plants can become really short to the 2 months, and that's where the autoflower came from. But there's some pros and cons to these autoflowers. The one thing is the autoflowers, they don't produce high THC content. They're very hard to clone, if at all. And they also, their yield, they don't produce a lot. So those are the negative things. The positive things is it's a short light cycle and you can produce 4 or 5 crops a year. And but with hemp, it can increase the CBD content, which is kind of interesting. And that's what you want for hemp, not for THC. So that's kind of a negative for the THC. The other positive thing is that you don't use as much nutrients. The nutrients, because you only have a short life cycle, it's 2 months, the growing cycle, versus 4 or 5 months with other plants, the normal plants. But there's other ways that you can stimulate your flowers to maturing quickly other than using an autoflower, and obviously that's with lights. You go from a vegetative state at 18 hours to 24 hours of light to immediately to 12 hours of light on and 12 hours of light off, and that will make your cannabis plants immediately start going into a maturing cycle, and they usually take between 8 and 10 weeks to mature when you do it that way. The other way is these light depth greenhouses, where they actually use natural light, but they have these blackout systems that make the natural light not get in after 12 hours. So it's the same thing, you're artificially stimulating the plant into maturity. So anyway, that's about it for today. I just want to give you a little information for people out there that didn't know much about autoflowers or light cycles. Call me anytime over at tomstumbletrimmer.com. You can get my number there. I'm always accessible for any questions you have on growing or post-harvest processing. Take care.